high school baseball player for 4 years. He has played 4 years of varsity baseball and lettered in 3 years. Also, his team won second place at the MAAA Conference Tournament, and he was a Class 4 All-District second-team baseball player in 2015. Jake is also a member of FFA and FTA. His hobbies include hunting and fishing. Jake's future plans are to attend Iowa State University and major in agricultural engineering. After college, he plans to buy land, work in the agricultural business, and live happily ever after with Sam. Jake Brewster. Last but not least is Gage Morris. Gage is the son of Carrie and Carrie Morris. Gage is being escorted tonight by his mother, Carrie Morris. Gage has been a St. John High School baseball player for 3 years. His hobbies include driving, fishing, and hanging out with friends. Gage is also a member of FFA for 4 years and wrestling for 4 years. His future plans are to attend UTI Tech to become a diesel mechanic. Gage Morris. How about a nice round of applause for our golf and baseball seniors?
All right. Welcome, Dragons fans. Hopefully you got to listen a little bit of the senior presentation of the seniors that are in golf and baseball. And again, that was Jake Brewster, Gage Moyers, and Nathan McClin, who's in the golf team. You can also see now that Coach Toombs has shown the picture of the new scoreboard, and it's up and going. And it's great to have that here on the last day of the last game of the season. But again, something neat that we'll be able to enjoy for a long time here at the baseball field.
Yeah, big thanks go out to our athletic director, Jeff Nix, and the maintenance crew to get that up. I think ultimately a lot of people didn't anticipate it being up until, next season. But having it up, ready to go, even though it's the last game, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I didn't mean to make it sound bad that,
No.
finally the last game, because it was something that just got delivered a few weeks ago, and like you said, they worked really hard to get it going. If you're at home, you probably know the weather alerts. It does look really black. I don't know, off to our left, and there's been some lightning, so I'm not sure how much of the game we will get in, but hopefully maybe it'll stay just enough north that we'll get in, but again, it doesn't look good from here, but we do have some lineups here as the Dragons are taking on the Crystal City Hornets, and for the Dragons, we'll have number 42, Derek Morgenthaler. He is leading off and playing left field. Next is Waylon Kipper. He's batting second and playing third. Wyatt Lombardier is batting third and playing center field. Dalton Giesler, number 9, is batting fourth, and he is catching. We have number 29, Drew Toombs, who's batting fifth. He is DHing for Brandon Hinson, who's playing shortstop. Senior Gage Moyers is playing right field. Daniel Vaith playing first base. In the eighth spot is Grant Staffen. He'll be playing second. And also the other senior, Jake Brewster, is pitching, and he'll finish the ninth spot in the lineup. So, nice for the seniors here to get a start. I don't think Brewster's actually started.
He started one game.
One game this season, but usually comes in relief. But so it'll be nice for him, and then also Gage Moyer getting a start here on his senior day.
Absolutely. Gage is one of those kids that's been in the program a long time, and I think we mentioned it last night how you love those kind of kids that know they may not get a whole lot of time, but they're willing to do any and everything you ask them to do, and they're hard-nosed, and he's one of the first ones to sit there, and if the coaches need something done, he's willing to go do it. He shags fly balls at times. He'll warm up the outfielders, and then when he's in the game, he does a really good job out there. He's got a pretty decent arm, so it's exciting to let him play a little bit.
Yeah, like you said, great kid. He's a part of other clubs and things like that, and a kid that knew maybe that he wasn't going to get to play a whole lot, but still sticks it out. That's what I think shows a lot of character for a guy like that who's going to stick it out knowing that he's probably not going to get to play much. So, great for him. And the Dragons are going to take the field here. Again, this is the last game of the regular season for the Dragons. We don't have any statistics for you, but they will be playing this Saturday at Windsor.
We're playing Apatosi against Windsor.
Apatosi against Windsor.
In districts.
In districts. The Dragons were the 6th seed out of their district. So, they've got kind of a tough road to make it. But, they've been playing really well of late. Yesterday they won a 6-1 game against Cape Central.
Yeah, pretty talented Cape Central bunch. They came into the game 13-11 and plays some good baseball down in the southeast Missouri area. And we had a pretty good ball game. And, Coach McDaniel made talk of it. I heard his interview with Frank on Prepcasts after the game and talked about, our pitchers really have somewhat found a groove recently. And, they kind of pitched just to some victories in the conference tournament, got to the conference championship after a 7 seed. And I think, come districts, if they continue to do that, we might be a 6 seed. But you just never know how far we can go in that.
Yeah, I know Coach McDaniel mentioned that not necessarily happy exactly where he was. I mean, he knew that he'd be somewhere around there, but knowing of how they've played lately, some other schools, started out really well but not playing as well lately, and maybe their schedule and things like that. But it is what it is. Just like a conference tournament, you got your seed, and you got to win all the games anyway. So
and districts is difficult because you have some teams that have played each other, but you don't have a whole lot of in conference. A lot of the same teams are going to play each other. You got a little better idea. But when you throw Windsor into the mix and Festus into the mix and some teams like that, it's hard to say.
Yep. All right, the Dragons, here's the first pitch from Jake Brewster. Up for Crystal City is number 9, Eisenbeis, to lead it off. He's looked at ball 1, and he fouls off the second pitch right behind us. I'm going to have to get used to looking there. It's always kind of nice. It was kind of to my left looking as far as the scoreboard, looking at balls and strikes. Right at the batter, I could kind of see it all at once. Here's a pitch from Brewster, and there's strike 2. I would assume there'll be a pretty good strike zone with the weather here. They're going to try to speed it up as fast as possible, but so batter's ready to go up and hit as there's ball 2 on Eisenbeis. Brewster looks in, gets the sign, winds up in the pitch. And ball 3 takes a full count.
I talked to Jake before the game a little bit, and he was excited about the opportunity to get to start this game here. Last game on Yanks Field, he was pretty excited about it.
And there's a ground ball. It's going to be a big hop for Staffen as he collects it, throws for the first out of the inning.
And I'm sure that's the best way he wanted to get started there. So, it's tough for a kid like Jake who's played a lot all the way through from his freshman year on up, and then to have the car wreck which broke his leg this fall, and just now getting back in the swing of things. I know he's really excited to do well tonight.
Well, hopefully he'll finish strong here the last game of the season and head right into districts as there's a little fly ball out to right field. Moyer's not going to get to it as it barely falls in fair territory. And that is C. Eisenbeis for Crystal City that finds himself with a base hit. So just off the end of the bat, able to kind of sneak it there just inside the right field line.
Yeah, kind of in that Bermuda Triangle there. Not enough lift in it, too close to the sideline for Grant at second base to get there, and too far for Daniel to get back on it. So
in steps French, shortstop. Third batter here in the top of the first inning. And he's going to drive that ball. That's going to be a base hit up the middle as Lomadier brings it in. And so French has himself a base hit also. So now we have first and second for the Hornets. And number 11, Childress, comes in. And I think we've felt some raindrops, so we're going to see if we can't move our equipment in. So you might lose a picture here a little bit, as it is really getting dark, so I assume that it's going to come down at any time. There's a foul ball over the top, brings the count to 0-1. And there's a drive. That's going to be a base hit in the right field. looks like that Eisenbeiss is going to hold up the third. So 3 singles in a row but for Eisenbeiss, French, and now Childress. And their bases loaded here with 1 out for Crystal City. And in steps number 10, Holst.
And bear with us while we get the camera ready to go. We're going to try to get it where you guys can watch a little bit how much ever this game goes on.
So here's the pitch from Brewster, a tad bit high for ball 1. Again, we got bases loaded here. Top of the first, 1 out. And there's a ground ball to first. Vaith's going to go for 2. Gets it to Hensman. No one able to cover first, so I don't know, miscommunication or Vaith, I don't know if Vaith thought someone else was going to cover, but only able to get a runner at second. So on a fielder's choice, we do get an out, but a run does score. So Eisenbeiss comes in to score. French moves over to third. Childress was out at second on the fielder's choice. And there's ball 1, and that's on number 5, Cox, the catcher.
Brewster now has 2 outs. Let's go after this batter, get out of this inning, see if we can put some runs on the board in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, Vaith probably could have went home. And there's a ground ball. That's going to be to short. Nice little sliding backhand throw. Gets up, throws. Nice play. But, the throw from Henson pulls Vaith off the bag. So Cox will be safe at first.
Nice little play there by Brandon Henson in the hole. Good, strong throw. But, from where we're at, it's hard to see. But apparently, according to Charlie Underwood, he came off the bag.
We talk, I know we've mentioned this before, that Henson, and maybe at that point there was no runner on second, that, he plays up in that hole pretty good. There's a base hit by Cheney, and that's going to score another run. So the Hornets hitting the ball here pretty well off of Brewster. So, it really hurts when you go back to that ground ball to Vaith and not able to get the double player. Maybe he could even went home, I think, on that one, as the infield was kind of playing in. So first and third here with 2 outs and top of the first. The runner's going to go from first. They're going to, that one gets by. Staffen. And that brings Cox around to score. And Cheney's down now to second.
Coach McDaniel heading out to the mound and headed pretty expeditiously. He wasn't waiting too long. He was ready to go out there and have a chit-chat with his infield. I don't think he's real happy right now.
Yeah, well, the Hornets have got 1, 2, 3, 4 hits so far. But just like that right there, we should have had a cutoff man. That's our little cutoff play. Yeah. And whether we're Staffen Henson, again, miscommunication, one of them should have been in catching it way before and keeping that runner at third. So not the way the Dragons wanted to start, as the Hornets have scored 4 now here in the top of the first. And we have number 13, Grove, up to bat. He's the 8th batter of the inning. Grove is the second baseman for Crystal City. And he looks at strike 1.
Yeah, I think you folks can see in the camera, those that are watching, there's some pretty dark clouds right out in behind left field. You can probably see it in the camera, so really not sure what's going to happen here this evening.
There's strike 2 from Brewster. Yeah, not only are they dark, the way they're moving is just kind of puzzling to me. A little change up too high for ball 2. 2-2 the count. Okay. I thought it was ball 1.
2-1, but we'll go with what Clayton has.
Yeah, maybe he's messed up already. Who knows? There's a little ground ball. High chopper. Vaith comes over, and Brewster does a good job to cover, as that was kind of a tough play for Vaith to bring that in. A little underhand toss to Brewster for the 3rd out of the inning, but not until the Hornets score 4 runs here on 1, 2, 3, 4 hits.
Yeah, and we'll go to the bottom of the first here, and the Dragons will have up Morgan Thaler. Freshman Morgan Thaler plays out in left field today, leading off. Waylon Kemper playing third today will be bat second, and Wyatt Lalmandir in center field will bat third. If any of those can get on, we'll have Dalton Giesler and DH Drew Toombs coming up. And, you know, last night we played Cape Central, and, you know, Cape Central, a good ball club. We kind of talked about how they have played some good teams, and we got off to a really good start yesterday and got some runs early. And, you know, Dalton had a really, really good game. He ended up having 5 of the 6 RBIs and 2 doubles, and, you know, we had a really good game. So hopefully this inning, you know, not knowing how long we're going to be able to go today, we can get some guys on and bring it to Dalton. And then from that, hopefully a bottom of the lineup can do what they've done recently.
Well, you know, you got not a lot to lose here. I mean, free and easy. Shouldn't have a lot of pressure. I mean, it's senior day, I guess. But, you know, this doesn't necessarily count for, you know, you've already had your district seed meeting.
Correct.
And so, you know, the guys should be pretty loose. Just go up and play some baseball and look to be aggressive a little bit with the bats.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we've talked before numerous times about at the start of the year the age that we were, but this is the time of year that that experience should win out. You know, go up and have good at bats and be patient and look for a pitch in a particular zone, look to drive it, get yourself on base. And, you know, when you start out the first inning and you're down 4 runs already, you know, you're not going to hit a 4-run home run as a leadoff batter. So we just need to get runners on base, go up and take good at bats and be focused at the plate.
Number 42, Derek Morgan Thaler.
You know, going into last night, Derek was hitting .411. Last night, I'm really not sure what he did at the plate. I probably have it here. Let's see, Derek was 2 for 3 yesterday, so that average did go up a little bit from .411. So hopefully Derek could get us started here.
And the rain's starting to come down a little bit here, so. And I think there's some lightning, and looks like Hank's going to call it. Yep. So I know there'll definitely be a good delay here. Checking the radar, it's a good-sized storm.
I think maybe we'll just take a step away here, Coach Coleman, because we're really not sure how long this is going to take. We'll take a step away here and be back with you, hopefully to bring you a few more innings if we get to play.
Sounds good.
Well, folks, if you can see, we've not only had some rain to stop us, but we have had a tremendous amount of hail. And so the ball game has been canceled. You can see some of it out here on our deck as we've moved inside all over the field. Crystal City's headed to their bus. So unfortunately, we're not going to bring you any more of the game. We did get to the bottom of the first. Crystal City up 4-0. But unfortunately, the game has been called, and we will just go from here and get ready for districts and hopefully get a chance to maybe bring you a game or so from districts. We'll have to see. So thanks again for joining us, and, you can't help Mother Nature. So we will talk to you again hopefully sometime in the near future.